after I burn it out, then I can listen to soft melodies. Know for yourself, what is it? I know some of you who are the rockers in the room who need to do the hard rock first. You can kind of burn it out. I got mine. All right? I know some of you would never want to do that. You would never dream of doing that, so you can go right to the mellow music, whatever. It's being aware of yourself. Some people need to get up and run around the block. You know, go to the gym, exercise. Again, so you can kind of, if you're wound tight, how are you going to get rid of it? So some people need to take a walk, take a run, burn it out. Some people do better to just go to their meditation chair and sit quiet and breathe. Figure it out for yourself so you know what's in your toolbox. When you're in that wound too tight and I need to let go, what's going to work for you? And probably a combination of things is going to work for you. If you can go right to the meditation, great, go right there. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I need to get out and walk around the block first. Sometimes I need to go punch my pillow. Or maybe not my pillow that I sleep on because I don't want angry energy and everything. Maybe I go punch a couch pillow or something. Kind of burn it out, you know, and then, okay. So find out what is yours. And while you're doing it, consciously turn to the source within. Consciously turn to that God of your understanding, whatever way you can, because that is the biggest part of it. Yeah, remember, surrender into what? That God of my understanding, the higher power. So while you're doing it, I'm turning into God. I'm turning into the source within. I'm trying to remind myself of that greater truth as I'm learning to let go. Let my grip go. Lose my grip. Okay, now I mentioned the reptilian brain, but did you also know, I know you do, so this is really a rhetorical question, that the essence of us is hardwired for peace and love and creativity. The essence of us, what we might call God's self, is hardwired for love and for peace and for goodness. That's in there too. So the reptilian brain is one aspect that wants to take over, but the essence, the God self, really wants to move us towards peace and love. It's doing that at the same time. Which one's going to win? Well, you know the answer is the one you give the most attention to. Am I giving more attention to the reptilian brain, or can I go, oh, that's just my ancestral reptilian brain trying to keep me safe, thank you very much, but I'm going to move over here to the essence of me, which is the peace and the love, and I'm going to move into that part of it so that I can feel that sense of wholeness. So the reptilian brain doesn't get to have all the reign here. We move into the essence brain, or the essence spirit of us. So getting a grip now, and I'm not saying this in a cynical way. I'm not saying, oh, get a grip. You know, you might hear it that way, oh, you need to get a grip. No, that's not what I mean. I mean it in a very loving way. Get a grip. Let's remember God. Let's get a grip on the higher power. Let's hold on to something greater. Sometimes Ernest Holmes calls it the first cause. And I just got through saying a little while ago that the conditions and effects of our life, the money, the health, the relationships, all that is the smallest part of our life, but it takes on gigantic proportions. But it's really the smaller thing. See the symbol in the middle of the window? The bottom point where it's small, that's the effect. You see our teaching symbol? Looks like a V with lines in it. The smaller part is the effects of our life. The bigger part at the top is the first cause, the God, the spirit part. So which part's bigger? The top, yes? The spirit part is the bigger part of us. We want to tune into the first cause because the conditions are the little part. The spirit is the bigger part. Holding on, getting a grip that this spiritual truth of us is bigger than the stuff of our life. It requires us to trust. It requires us to trust. Such a big spiritual teaching word is to trust, trust, trust every single day and to depend on it. I often say, all right, the Spirit is right where I am and I'm counting on it now. It reminds me when I turn within, I'm counting on it now. I'm counting on it to guide me. I'm counting on it to love through me. I'm counting on it to speak through me. I'm counting on it to help me lose a grip. So as I'm grabbing on to getting a grip on the Spirit, it also helps me lose the grip of what's spiritual to me. So we're holding on to the bigger If you haven't taken foundational class yet, I highly encourage you because we talk about that teaching symbol a whole lot in the foundations class. But the idea that we have to trust it and hold on to it, why is that so hard for us? Why is that so hard for us, dude? It's a rhetorical question. It seems that we get stuck so easily. That's the reptilian brain I was talking about. It's just a matter of turning it over every single day, remembering the greater, remembering the greater, remembering the greater. So our 5 steps of treatment, that's also done in the foundational class. Our 5 steps of treatment, step 1 and step 5 are played out here. Step 1, recognition. What are we asking ourselves to do? We're asking ourselves to recognize that there's a power greater than we are. That there is one truth, call it God, call it the universal presence, doesn't matter, that it is all there is. We're asking ourselves to get a grip on that. Get a grip on the fact that there is only one thing, and it wants to work through you in most magical ways. One thing, get a grip. Yes, you can tie those 2 things together right there. Get a grip on that. Jump down to the 5th step. What do we do on step 5? We release. We lose a grip. You see, it's all played out in that one treatment right there. We lose a grip. We get a grip by remembering the one source. We lose a grip because we say at the end of that prayer, I now release this prayer into the action of the spiritual law that knows what to do. Lose a grip. Trust. That is such an important part, because here's what we do. We do our prayer, and we make our claim. I claim abundance for myself. I claim, and pretty soon we do this, and we don't want to let it go. But this, the last part is the spiritual surrender. I let go into the power that knows what to do. I wish that was a little bit easier. It's simple, isn't it? It is so simple to hear. But when you put it into practice, get a grip on the spiritual truth and lose a grip. Count on it. Depend on it. Don't just say the words, I now release this into the law, blah, blah, blah. If you do it like the road, it means nothing. What are we really asking ourselves to do? Trust. Surrender. That the power that is greater than we are knows what to do. So you notice that trust is in both parts of it. It's in getting a grip and losing a grip. When we're getting a grip on the spiritual truth, we've got to trust that. When we're losing a grip, we've got to trust that. So a visual that comes to mind is a person swinging on a trapeze in a circus. Y'all remember what trapeze was? I don't know if circuses do that anymore, but they hang onto that bar and they swing, right? There's a moment in that they can't hang on to 2 bars because they would stop. That momentum that they had swinging, there's a moment where they have to let go of this bar, full trust, before they can grab that bar. If they tried to grab them both at the same time, it would stop their momentum. It would just freeze. Their arms like that. I didn't even think about that gruesome detail. Okay, we don't want to rip your arms off, but you get my point. That person has to trust, when they let go of the first bar, that we're going to be able to catch the second bar. Okay, that's like what we're doing. It gets easier with practice. It gets easier with experience. So the trapeze artist, can you imagine the very first time? I would think that would be scary as all get out, so that's why they have a net, right? So there's that first time where they've got to let go, and the bars have to be swinging in perfect rhythm. Oh my gosh, I think it would be very scary. And then if you got somebody hanging on the other bar that's going to catch you, you got to trust them too. But we'll just stick with yourself. You can go through a lot of layers here. I think the very first time would be very scary. Probably the second time would be scary. But after you've been doing it for 5 years, it's not scary anymore, is it? The experience that person on the trapeze builds their trust. And it's no different than when you and I do prayer. It's the same thing. The first time we do it, we go, I release this into the law, blah, 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 like I said. But after a while, we start to go, I release this into the law. Oh. And we gain the experience that something actually happens. And then when we see it manifest in our life, we go, oh, okay, good. Now we've got experience. We've trusted. and then we do